Hey ladies and gentlemen, thank you for clicking once again, and we are on to 3B. This is when Chris Jericho, aka me, selects Randy Orton as opposed to Ken Kennedy as the masked man. So, yeah, I'll probably edit out some of the stuff that I find that is identical to the other side. Just for brevity's sake, so you're not super bored by this.
I think this guy is the masked man, and I'm gonna call him out.
And of course, we are going to select Mr. Randy Orton this time. Last time we selected Mr. Kennedy, and we ended up with two masked men. Surprise, surprise. Now, the funny thing is there are a lot of people who I don't think knew that there were two endings. And I believe this was canonical, the one that most people thought was the ending. And if somebody came to them saying there were two masked men, they would call them a liar.
You thought Shane would bail you out? You thought your old army pants still fit? You cost me the WWE Championship and somehow got your own title shot tonight. If you think I'm gonna sit down for that, you better get that.
And really, Jericho's giving a wonderful voiceover performance here. I couldn't be happier with the way he delivered all of these lines.
It's the Masked Man, or should I say, Randy Orton. I'm still not sure who it is.
And he's coming out pretty standard issue. This is kind of surprising that he's just going to come out when called out. Of course, we don't know if that's Orton or not. We're going to have to rip his mask off to find out. You need to beat him up pretty good to get it off, though. And we both start with finishers. Of course, what's the masked man's finisher? We don't know, because we don't know who it is. But let's use that first finisher.
Look at that! No fear whatsoever. What an amazing superstar!
Okay, my controller's being a little fritzy here. That's what happens when you buy a used Japanese PS3 with one controller. And the punch button is the standard button for menus. Because as I said before, in Japan, circle is yes and X is no.
Just listen to his body crash into the ground. He's got some evil intentions here.
Kind of to the spine with that elbow drop.
The elbow. A vicious stomp. What a nasty elbow. Just listen to his body crash into the ground.
Now, of course, the masked man looks a little bit like the masked guys who went after Undertaker in the Muhammad Hassan Undertaker storyline and dragged Undertaker from the ring, and that was very, very controversial. That was, I think, in 2006. So when I was making this, I wasn't really conscious of that, despite the fact that my good buddy Sean Devaria was involved there. Excuse me as I take these steps inside the ring and use them when I can. So while he is a masked man and while he's wearing some kind of army stuff, I can honestly say I did not intentionally make it as any kind of reference to the controversial Hassan storyline. And of course WWE approved this model, I believe, so they didn't really take it that way either.
He put all his weight behind that. What a tackle!
And to kind of go into what this storyline is about, why I want to do a masked man storyline, you know, it hasn't been done too much in modern times at this time with, you know, I remember growing up, NWA did it a lot with the Midnight Rider, who ended up being Dusty Rhodes, which was very obvious. The Black Scorpion ended up being Ric Flair going after Sting, which was pretty obvious. Then there was in WCW a guy called the Yellow Dog, and I believe it was either Pillman or Tom Zink who got, like, you know, suspended or fired and then came back as this Yellow Dog character under a mask. So there hadn't been a good masked guy story in a while, and I thought that that was kind of a part of pro wrestling lore that hadn't been touched on, and I wanted to touch on it. And as I said before, Bobby Lashley had a military background. Ken Anderson and Randy Orton both have military backgrounds, so I wanted that to be at least part of a basis for that. Hence the fatigues.
What a fierce kick. Wham! What a
And then the ski mask, which I'm going to take off right here, hopefully. That HUD is really weird. I'm not really sure how that worked. But the ski mask kind of tied into Ken being from Green Bay. Genius. And suddenly we're back in the ring. And that's a bad looking punch.
Stop the fighting right now.
Yeah, okay, so this scene, this is like the one action-ish scene that I was not present for in motion capture. So, I'm not really happy with how this turned out. I was a little upset with it, actually, honestly, when I saw it. Because when these two big guys take Jericho down, it looks like, look at how Snitsky kind of ends up on his back. It's just really not good. He's tapping him. But, you know, hey, look at Jericho's getting screwed right there. He thought he had the Masked Man. And, you know, Shane, once again, is being kind of an antagonist himself. To keep the plot thickening. And I believe the next week is week 9. And I think that this is the same for both storylines. And if it is, I'll cut this out in post. Circle. Okay, now we're heading off to Charlotte, North Carolina. March 2nd was the same in both storylines, so I have cut that out. And now we're here March 9th, which is week 10 of programming, because when I was organizing these, I would call them by the weeks. So this is week 10 in Charlotte. And in the week before that, which you are not going to see this time, Jericho interrupted the title match between Cena and Randy Orton because he felt that he deserved that title match. He still hasn't gotten his title match.
He's not one to forgive and forget. I bet dollars to chicken fried steak that these two are going to butt heads soon.
Butt heads. A headbutt usually only hurts one guy, and it's often the guy who gets headbutted. Oh, now here you'll get to hear me in my voiceover debut.
We need some help in here. Cena's hurt.
That was me as the ref.
This is me.
And that's Chunko peeking in. Alright, this time Jericho makes the save on Cena. And now we have to take the mask off. It didn't happen last time. Let's see if we can get it off this time. Hopefully nobody will get in our way. Oof. And that had to hurt. And that had to hurt. There's some wicked weapon shots in this game, really. Not that it released German onto the concrete is any less wicked. And he bent my pipe. Alright, we're getting him pretty hurt already. Let's see if we can get him some catering. Boom. There goes the pizza and the noodles and the WWE branded water. Okay, I'm not grabbing the mask. That's just my normal, me idiotly trying to hit up on the right stick. Excuse me. That was a code breaker into a sneeze. I think it was in lieu of all this dust that just fell out of that garbage can. Which, it's weird that it's not more, that it's just dust in there. However, interesting bit of trivia, in Japan they call a garbage can a dust box or a dust bin. And there goes the mask, and there's the model without the mask. Huh?
I'm not sure I saw.
So I had THQ throw that little pause as if somebody in the production booth kind of ran it back and posted it up. Again, not perfect, but you know that's something that's something they could do quickly. So we now know that the person we accused, surprise, surprise, was actually the Masked Man, Randy Orton. So now we know who he is, and he knows that we know who he is, and we know that he knows that we know who he is. Which leads to something compelling, hopefully, going down in Atlanta, GA. Where the plays play. And we ride on them things like every day. Now look at the adjective. Play. That's a little Kevin Nash botch reference for you. What up to Matthew from Botchamania? Big fan of that show. a wicked looking masked man shot there. I think Ukes really had fun posing these models for those stills.
But let me tell you, Kate really wants my vote, and it shows.
Oh, come on.
Crawling through the desert and still find time.
Hey, we get to hear JR say oogle yet again. Ha ha ha. And there he is, the masked man. Look at him, just looking so smug. We've had your number the whole time, dude.
That Joker Jericho exposed me a little earlier than I planned. I guess he's smarter than I thought.
Thanks for the
That's
props.
not saying much. The goal behind this all was to become WWE champion. If the champ was any kind of competitor, he will come out right now and face me for the WWE championship.
Calling out Cena, not me.
Damn well, Cena was injured last week. In fact, Orton did it himself.
Now, I personally love the
I'm
looking at the
waiting,
fake
Cena.
watch move.
Am
I
I
do
gonna
that
have
all
to
the
come
time,
back there
so
and
that
give
was
you
definitely
another
something that I
spanking?
maybe even had written into the script for the motion capture actor to do. Because I love checking the fake watch. I never wear a watch. And Cena in the hat only, but looking a little,
Hold on a minute,
he's
John.
selling a little bit.
You're a little beat up, but you seem ready to fight. Okay. You will defend the WWE Championship tonight against Randy Orton. It should make for
Now,
a
shouldn't
great
Shane be
match.
trying to protect his champion, protect his talent? You know, looking back, I really did make Shane kind of a jerk in this. That's a different ringtone. And it's a call.
I need a favor.
So I heard, Cena. You don't seem in any kind of shape to defend your championship tonight.
I can barely tie my shoes, to be honest with you. I don't want to point fingers, so I'll just ask. Will you be at ringside for the match?
Maybe I do owe you. I'll be there.
Just call my name, Cena. I'll be there. Cena, of course, great on the voiceover, too. So here I'm not even in the match. I'm just going out with Cena. Kind of interesting. And even though I have entrances turned off, this is something we motion captured for this story. So we get to see Cena painfully coming out and Chris Jericho kind of trying to help him out. Lend him a shoulder to lean on, quite literally here. So again, not with the t-shirt once again. That t-shirt looks a little too big on him anyway, and I'm sure we'll see that a lot in the John Cena story itself once we play that, whenever that is. Because I will be playing every single one of these stories. Come hell or high water. And I live on the 9th floor, so high water's not going to do much for me.
I can't believe Shane
Ooh,
McMahon
look at all red for
John
Cena.
to
His
the
whole body's
after the brutal
in red.
attack
Alright, I can
last
reach
at
in
the
there.
hands of Randy Orton. Cena won't be
Let me try get...
100%
Oh,
in a
maybe I can grab Orton over
let
here.
alone a week.
Nope.
Cena's one tough customer. He isn't going to ask for any
Oof.
special consideration. Not that he'd get it from
Come on.
Shane.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
He reversed it.
And he's blocking everything, too. Stepping on my hands.
Look at that.
Oh, get him, Cena. Get him, Cena. Oops. Maybe I should have not distracted him there. And once again, my timing with Cena is a little off.
Oh,
Ooh, a
man.
power slam.
This might be the difference maker in this match.
And I'm trying to keep him from doing his signature move, whatever his signature move is. Okay, can I get in the ring? Come on, trying to boost his momentum a little bit. This does not look good. Come on, John. Hit him, get him. Ah. Oh. I mean, at this point, Cena's kind of just a sacrificial lamb, isn't he? Alright, stopped him from hitting the RKO there. So that's good.
Ouch. What a slap across the
But I don't know if there's a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do here. He's just toying with him, really.
Here's
Uh-oh,
what the
uh-oh.
fans came to see.
Come on, can I get in? Can I get in? No. Oh.
The RKO! Man, it's as
No,
fast
get
as
in.
it is deadly. This could be a pinfall.
Ah, go in.
3. That's it. That's all she wrote.
So yeah, we have no way for you to really do too much to affect that match. And of course, Cena was so damaged and Randy's difficulty was so high that that match was not going to last much longer than that, no matter what you did. It's really to kind of build heat on Orton and get him the championship, which he now has, which means that when he and I face each other, not only is it for revenge for him being the masked man, but for the title also. And as he said, getting the title was his whole motivation for doing the masked man thing, even though I didn't have the title at the time, but now he does. So it's quite the heist movie kind of play by Randy Orton there, trying to fool me, even though I didn't have the championship, to end up getting the championship. I wonder where I don't know where we got this room tone. I really don't. It's fascinating to me that it sounds like some kind of intercom thing. As if maybe when they went to WrestleMania the year before, they just captured some backstage audio or something. I don't know, and I will never know. And that means you will never know, and I'm sorry. So here we are. I believe this is week 11. So we're coming near the end here of episode 3B. That's the go home. Okay, yeah, we're week 12. All right. And this is an interesting week in programming here of this storyline. Of course, exclusive to this, the Randy Orton selection side, but I do something similar as well in the versus Undertaker storyline in SVR 2011, which you'll see in a little bit. What I do this time.
I know how much you want a shot at my championship, Jericho. I'm a reasonable man. If you can win the match I have set up for you tonight, you'll get your shot at WrestleMania.
Oh, so he's calling the shots now. Of course, in 2011 as well, is it 2011 or is it 2010? Orton actually becomes GM in the Cena story. And you see we've got five. We've got 5 masked men. And I just thought that would be neat. It's kind of like, like Orton paid off a bunch of other maybe enhancement talent or something to take out Jericho here. Of course, they're wrestling each other as well. But just a little 6-man Royal Rumble, or 6-man Battle Royal, just something a little different. Oh, that guy's almost out. Let's see if we can speed up that process. Nope, I don't want to hit you. I want to get you out. Oh, too late. And really, I mean, I have to pretty much eliminate all 5 of these other guys without getting eliminated myself, so it's not super easy. But I also can't do a drop kick to get this guy out like I could in a normal match. Now, you kind of kept these guys pretty low on the AI. I believe they gave them some kind of generic moveset that was not tied to any specific wrestler. Just so you couldn't really tell who they are. Alright. No, I want you to leave. Get out. Oh, that seemed pretty close. Uh-oh. Get in. Get back in. Catch your breath inside. Roll in. Alright, there we go. Oh, they eliminated that guy for me.
He's been removed from the ring and from contention in this match. The determination of Jericho defies comprehension. Chris is close. So close to WrestleMania. Wham!
To WrestleMania Wham! Ooh. And a belly-to-back superplex. Maybe not the best thing to do in a battle royal, but... Alright, can I get this guy out? No, that meter's going slowly. It's going slowly. Alright, hey, he helped me out. Thanks, buddy.
There he goes. He's
Imagine if that ended up being Jeff Hardy or something, helping you out the whole time. If he just busted out that little finger wagging Jeff Hardy dance right there.
Randy Orton in the WWE title.
What's he got planned here?
What a nasty elbow.
Alright. We are firmly in control.
Oh, look out, Codebreaker. Good night.
We are firmlier in control.
And now he's sharing a piece of his mind.
Alright, let's get him out and move on to WrestleMania. Oh, nice bump.
He doesn't look well. There it is. That's the match.
Fun little deviation, something I don't think anybody expected.
Jericho with all the masked men. That leaves only
A happy Chris Jericho. A happy me. Are you happy?
Speak of the devil, Jr.
Oh.
Here he comes.
So this is motion captured. I think that we leaned a little too heavily on their poses in the motion capture this year. Of course, it was my first year, and I was not actually directing these cutscenes in the studio.
Not ever. You may have beaten a bunch of masked scrubs, but I'm the real thing. And at WrestleMania, there's no way in hell you're leaving with the WWE Championship.
Orton seemed a little too frightened there. But that's to set him up for the dropping of the masks.
The games are over this weekend as these two meet.
Thought that would be kind of, again, I'm just trying to think of kind of fun things. Dropping masks on him is unexpected, but it makes sense. Kind of Jericho's own way of playing a little bit of mind games back at Randy. And pilot, let's take this plane to WrestleMania in Portland, which is not actually where WrestleMania 24 took place, but that's where I wanted it to be. I don't really have a huge affinity with Portland like I do some of the other cities. I think at this point I had never gone to Portland. I did go when I was touring with the heavy metal band Gwar, and I remember it was so windy that day. During the day after I did my duties, I was out and about getting some pizza, I think, getting some dinner. I was vegan at the time, so it was kind of hard to find food. And I was out, and it was so windy that I could kind of lean into the wind like a trust fall, and the wind would hold me up. I remember doing that at like a traffic intersection during a red light, just like leaning into the wind and watching it hold me up.
Get his hands on the WWE champion, the same man who tried to ruin Jericho's career.
Look at that guy throwing air punches. Yeah, punch. He's almost hitting that that girl that looks like, who's the girl that's dating, is it Angelina Love? No, the other girl that's dating Bully Ray. I actually met her once too. One of the beautiful people girls in Impact. Anyway.
Jericho got his title match, but it was interrupted by a masked man. Jericho went on a mission to find out the identity of the assailant, eventually accusing Randy Orton. His suspicions turned out,
I mean, he was going right towards the kidneys there before my voiced referee came and said, "We need some help, Cena's hurt." And that looks like the Matrix, where Neo's fighting a whole bunch of Agent Smiths.
Which he did. Now, these two square off tonight for the WWE Championship.
All right, so unlike the Ken Kennedy path where it was a fatal four-way or an Extreme Rules four-way, this well, let's cut a promo first. Let's just let's pump up the crowd before our championship match.
Chris Jericho has to save the day.
Once again.
Unlike some so-called heroes, I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have a secret identity. What you see is what you get. And what you see is going to become the new WWE champion before the night is over. Randy Orton. You're nothing but a clown who will never, ever beat me.
When he used to say that?
You're gonna find out what everyone else knows again and again, that WrestleMania is Jericho.
So when you have an in-ring promo like that, it's actually really difficult because when we get the voiceover from Chris Jericho, for example, which they do on the road with our mobile recording studio and our small team of guys.
I know how much you two want to get your hands on each other, so I'm making your title match a hardcore one.
Cool.
Don't come crying to me after.
So we gimmick up that match a little bit. But when we're cutting that promo in motion capture and when they're recording that promo, it's really hard to sync those up because we're not sure what the beats are. Now, sometimes I can get together with the voiceover director before he gets recording and either show him that footage or just give him the beats to help make that a little bit more accurate. But otherwise, the audio guys, who were pros, by the way, are going to have kind of a hard time syncing that up. And they'll have to chop it up a little bit. And that promo delivered by Jericho was pretty smooth, so it's tough to... Alright, look at it, I get to bust his head into the barricade. Ooh, and in real time, to boot. So when these cutscenes were when the data was recorded, every week I would kind of have 3 different meetings. I would go to, in this case, Haijun Whiskey in Santa Monica, and watch the progress on their scenes, and I would give feedback on lip sync and camera angles and hits and whatever else. And I would go to DMG Media Sound Deluxe in Hollywood and sit in the audio booth and check out how they're going with the sound mix and give them a lot of feedback as well. And then I would have 1 or 2 teleconference meetings with Ukes to, find out more about the design stuff and see how that's going along, and they would have a lot of questions for me, and I might have some questions for them. So it was a lot of collaboration between me and the I don't want to outsource people, the vendors, I don't know what you want to call them, but, collaborations.
Ow, what an elbow! Oh man, I think we're about to see a high-risk move here.
Now this is hardcore, so maybe we, I don't think we want to beat Orton yet. Let's beat him down.
I don't think I've ever seen Chris Jericho this hungry, this ravenous.
Yeah, I don't want to beat him yet.
Jericho
Boom. I actually got hit in maybe my 4th match. My opponent hit me with an enziguri. He caught my kick and hit me with an enziguri, and I flipped. And I don't want to pin him. And I kind of flipped on my own, really, without even trying, because that's just how well he hit me. I used to be a pretty heavy kicker when I was wrestling, and that inspired my opponents to hit me pretty hard too, and I never complained about it. I was happy to, because if it hurt, it probably looked pretty good. And I think that's something that Mick Foley used to say. Well, if it hurt, it looked good. All right, let's see if we can put him through this table. I'm not exactly sure what move to do that with. Definitely not the grab to the nose. Stay on.
Simple move that sets up bigger things.
It's some fun collision. All right, let's get back here.
There's the reversal.
Yeah. All right, what can I do to him to bump him on this table? All right, cool. Let's get now. Come back. Yep, come back.
The mind games are now over. The mental strategy.
All right, I'm flailing horribly at this. Flailing and failing.
It's only Jericho. Man against man. Hunted versus the Hunter. On the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. I think fatigue is set in here.
That was some good line delivery right there by JR. I appreciate that. He's great at selling moments, of course. Perhaps the best ever. Yeah, I'm not going to roll him up. I don't remember if an Extreme Rules match has... It's not a false count anywhere, I don't think.
Whichever man becomes victorious, they will never be the same physically or mentally.
Alright, I'm sorry I was not able to get him through that table.
They have gone to the limit.
Can I? Nope. Alright.
And he strikes the opponent Wham! What a cold break. The referee had better get in
So it's
there and
interesting,
take a
he's
look at
bloodied
that.
up, but
We
because
may
we're
need to stop
outside,
this
it doesn't
match.
do that camera cut just to show him bloody. Alright, excuse me, sir. Maybe I can give him a...
And he
That's not what
strikes
I
with
meant.
the elbow.
Nah. Alright, let's just hammer the point home. Oop. Ah. Yeah, whiff.
What a kick that was.
Looks like he's got some big plans, JR. Look at that. No fear whatsoever.
Try and get the crowd back
What
into
an
it,
amazing
because
superstar.
I am not doing well with this. Now, I don't really know how to grab... Like, I can grab a guy when they're on the ground, but I'm not really sure how
Oh,
to
what a slap.
manipulate them
That'll
when
leave
they're
a mark.
standing.
He leaps into the air for a flying forearm.
Well, that's interesting. Ooh. Headbutt from the bottom position. Alright, let's finish this in the ring.
Look at that. No fear whatsoever.
And
What an
his
amazing
head is
superstar.
throbbing according to the HUD. Now his body is as opposed to his head. Yeah, bring the hammer in, that's fine. Ooh.
The drop kick sends his opponent to the floor. Just listen to his body crash into the ground.
That is quite the hematoma.
We all know what's coming next.
Now his legs are not actually hurt, but hopefully maybe the blood loss will cause him to tap out anyway.
Y2J has
Give
slapped
up.
on the wall.
Oh, and he does.
Well, like it or not, this one's over.
Thank you for your enthusiasm there, JR. That's something I wish I would have changed, was to get maybe an ending WrestleMania voiceover soundbite so it doesn't sound like JR is disappointed that the match is over, that Jericho won.
Sure, this result makes it all.
Not really happy with the animation of the belt and the hands there. I hear that was pretty difficult to maneuver. We did actually have... That's a low drop kick. But a nice backdrop to the outside. That was definitely done by the Performance Center guys. I think this time we had, was it Heath Slater and Sheamus, Ted DiBiase Jr. I think all those guys came out for the 1 or 2 days that we had with them to do scenes, because WWE at this point did not want us recording wrestling scenes without their guys. And I think Dr. Tom Pritchard was there too, to kind of be in charge of them, because those, WWE didn't know me at the time or what I was capable of, and didn't know the guys I was using either, and I didn't really know them either. All right, so that is finally the end of Chris Jericho's story. I hope you enjoyed this bonus alternate episode. And who will I choose next? The ring goes around. Maybe Punk, maybe Taker, maybe Punk. But regardless, please give me a thumb to the eye. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it.